Hey, how you doing? My name is Ryan, and today I'm counting down the top 10 dumbest LEGO sets. Now, this will be very different than your usual worst sets list. I'm not looking at failed experiments like Znap. I'm looking at sets from established brands that have high levels of nonsense somewhere in the set's inception. It could be a dumb concept, a dumb execution, dumb pricing, dumb build experience, or in some cases, multiple, if not all, are dumb. So let's lower our IQ points and get started with number 10, Captain America's shield. The concept here is questionable, as LEGO did have success making the helmet busts as well as Thor's hammer. However, making Captain America's shield feels a little bit wrong, as you can't really do much with it other than just have it be big on your shelf. And it's not even one-to-one, so you can't wear it or throw it because, you know, it's LEGO, it's going to break. As for the execution, it's okay. I think this looks just like Captain America's shield. The shaping is rather nice, the use of color is bright and bold, but again, it's a large fragile disc that stands on your shelf and looks pretty. As for pricing, again, we're in some questionable territory, as spending multiple hundreds of dollars on a set that's mostly just plain colored pieces feels a little bit off, and you're paying more so for the brand than you are for the build. And as for that build experience, this is where the Captain America shield is dumb. This is a dumb building experience. I've never seen a set so big with such a small instruction manual, because a lot of this is just repetitive mini builds over and over again, 4, 5, 6, 10 times. Because it's a symmetrical circle, you're building the same swath of white and red stripes over and over and over again. It feels so monotonous and time consuming and dumb. And that leads Captain America's shield to be the number 10 dumbest LEGO set in my opinion. But we can go a little bit stupider with number 9, Hedwig at 4 Privet Drive. This is a dumb concept through and throughout. It's a remake of the Hedwig build that was also a remake of the other Hedwig build we got, and this Hedwig, why did it need to exist? Why do you need a middle ground between the brickhead Hedwig and the normal size Hedwig? It makes this one feel so incomplete, so minimalist, and frankly, so dumb. As for the execution, it's fine. You're only given so many pieces because they wanted to make such a small Hedwig build with this odd chest. So for what they were given, the execution is fine. Again, pricing is only 20 bucks. Sure, fine, 20 bucks for a tiny Hedwig build and a tiny case build, okay. As for the build experience, it's pretty quick and boring and kind of mindless. There's not a lot to do here, and it all comes down to having a dumb concept to begin with. So that's my number 9 pick. Moving up to number 8, the Burge Khalifa from 2011. The concept here is good. The architecture series is wonderful from LEGO, and making a model of the then tallest building in the world, awesome idea. As for the execution, this is where the Burge Khalifa is straight up dumb. 99% of this set is comprised of 1x1 round bricks, and you're just stacking them until the live long day and the set is done. That is such a boring idea, such a dumb way to approach a rather gorgeous building. So that's where this set is dumb. Pricing was totally fine, your usual mid-range pricing for architecture lines, under 100, above 50. The build experience is boring and lame because of dumb execution. You're just stacking this one kind of brick over and over and over and over and over again. When one of your more adult-oriented themes of LEGO has such a repetitive build, you've messed up somewhere in execution, and that makes the Burge Khalifa dumb. How about number 7, a Star Wars set, ObiWan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. The concept here is pretty lame. It's a battle series where you have your one hero, your one villain, they lightsaber fight, but the landscape is so flat, barren, and boring and gray. The execution, it's fine, you know, there's not a lot to work with, not a lot of really tiny fun details and builds you can have here. The pricing on this set, that's where it's dumb in my opinion. On LEGO.com, you can buy this set for $30, but that's after a discount because this set originally retailed for 50 bucks. Talk about overpriced, talk about not a lot of bang for your buck, talk about dumb pricing. You're spending 50 bucks for one of the most barren and boring Star Wars sets I've ever seen. Yeah, you get Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, Taladarth, and Ned 8, but $50 for such a boring landscape that even if you put on a shelf, wouldn't look that good, and you can't really play with it all that much. This feels like a small sliver of a larger mock you'd find at a convention, so spending $50 for it makes no sense, is absolutely ridiculous. And as for the build experience, it's your average Star Wars build, a little bit of good, a little bit of boring. But for $50, it's no wonder it's already on sale for $30, because that's dumb pricing. But we can get dumber with my number 6 pick, Batman Killer Croc Sewer Smash. This is a dumb concept. I don't like when LEGO creates these large vehicles that are mostly open space. Look at this Batman vehicle. Look how big it is, but also look how little space it actually takes up, how few pieces go into it. It's even worse with Killer Croc. You have this giant mouth that opens and closes, which is fine, but it's mostly dead space. It's mostly air, this build. And you have Killer Croc kind of perched behind it. You have Captain Boomerang perched on this little weird seat on the top of the mouth. I can't think of a good reason why these vehicles had to become LEGO sets, and that makes it dumb in my opinion. Execution-wise, they did a pretty good job. I mean, a lot of this is mostly tank pieces, a lot of teeth, a lot of treads, a lot of black, a lot of green. Pricing is fine. You do get a nice big fig with it, some good figures, Katana, Captain Boomerang, another Batman. The build experience was rather boring. You're spending most of your time linking together small Technic treads and adding teeth to holes. A lot of boring, monotonous work, all catering towards a dumb concept of these large vehicles that really aren't that big, that take up so little space and use so few bricks. This one's dumb from the start, and even though every other part of it did its job fine, you can't elevate a dumb concept. But those sets were average stupidity. Now we're in the top 5, where more than one category might be dumb. So let's smooth out those brains with our number 5 pick, the First Order ATST. This set was ridiculed the moment it was unveiled, and there's a good reason why. It's a dumb concept to begin with. Giving your fan base an incomplete vehicle build and passing that off as a complete finished set? What a dumb idea. Yeah, in the movie, BB-8 drives this ATST and the top peels off to reveal that the robot's underneath of it, but why not give us the full ATST with the removable top? Why limit us to just an incomplete Imperial vehicle? As for the execution, yeah, it looks accurate to the film, it looks fine, it's all there, or at least the amount of stuff that we're supposed to be given is all there. However, the pricing on the First Order ATST is also incredibly dumb. $40 for an incomplete Star Wars vehicle is absurd, especially when, in the past, we've gotten full ATSTs for less than that. So it's the perfect example of shrinkflation in a weird way. We're sold less vehicle for a higher price. Talk about dumb pricing. The build experience was okay. It kind of stopped early because you didn't get the full vehicle, so that all comes down to a dumb concept, and the price point they sold it at was also incredibly stupid. But it gets worse. How about number 4? Iron Man vs. The Mandarin Ultimate Showdown. Another set that was ridiculed to death when it came out, because again, this is a dumb concept. Now, I'm totally fine with not accurate movie sets. It happens quite a bit, but to have the Mandarin in this weird sort of flamethrower tank versus the airborne Iron Man, spending time and resources to a green flamethrower go-kart, that could be like a Hydra thing or it could be an AIM, but the Mandarin? Nor do I think LEGO actually received this kind of concept art for Iron Man 3. Given the way that film actually plays out, I'm not sure where a tank would have fit into it, yet alone a flaming go-kart, so this has to be some sort of LEGO original idea, and yeah, it's a really dumb idea to begin with. And the execution of that idea is also pretty dumb. It's one of those times where a dumb concept really hampers any possibility of it looking cool to begin with. And yeah, having this be green with these yellow accents and this giant Technic tube, you took an idea of flaming tank and you made it even dumber by making it kind of colorful with a large overhead stiffed arm flamethrower. Pretty dumb execution if you ask me. Pricing, That's fine. It's going to be a cheap set to begin with to get your hero and your villain, and the build experience was quick, boring, and easy. But man, the finished product looks stupid, the idea was stupid, and the execution of that dumb idea didn't do it any favors. The Iron Man vs. Mandarin Showdown set might not be the worst Marvel set ever built. In fact, there's several more I reviewed on this channel that I think are worse, but I don't think a Marvel set will ever be as dumb as this one. And with that, we enter the top 3, where all the bulbs are dim, all the tools are dull, and almost every element of these sets are dumb. So how about number 3? LEGO Star Wars Chewbacca. Take everything I said about the Captain America shield, the fact that it's not one-to-one, the fact that it really can't do anything besides just look pretty on a shelf, and compound those problems exponentially. The decision to make a Star Wars maquette that isn't a droid, pretty dumb. The decision to make a Star Wars character that's furry is even dumber. The decision to make a LEGO Star Wars Chewbacca is just the dumbest one I can think of. This is one of those few times where I would have preferred a buildable character with a single piece for the face, as at least then you could have added decals or artwork of fur as opposed to having to try to depict fur with bricks. That's really difficult to do, and I just think it's a dumb idea to try to do it in the first place. And with such a dumb concept, the execution is even dumber. This thing just looks terrible. Pretty scary, rather off-putting. I don't envy the designers that had to take a furry character and translate it into bricks, but with that face, with no decals, no stickers, nothing, having everything be brick built, I don't think that was the right call, and I think this dumb decision made a pretty hideous looking Chewbacca. And then the price is also dumb on top of that. Asking people to spend $200 on a scale LEGO model of Chewbacca that looks pretty hideous is just absurd. Even the figure included, I'm pretty sure, is not exclusive. And even if it was, would it really be worth $200 and having to build this LEGO Chewbacca monstrosity? The build itself, by the way, is fine. It probably is a rather complicated build with a lot of intricacies with those brown pieces, but at what cost? Well, $200 first of all, and the fact that you end up at the end of all of that with a terrible looking LEGO Chewbacca. And think about the opportunity cost here too. Instead of making this for $200, LEGO could have made another droid like a C-3PO or another BB-8 remake, or they could have made lightsabers. Why is it that LEGO Chewbacca got precedence over lightsabers? It makes no sense to me. It's a dumb concept with dumb execution at a dumb price, and the build isn't even worth it. That makes it my number 3 pick for the dumbest LEGO set ever made. But how about number 2? That would be the LEGO Ideas BTS Dynamite set. This might be controversial, but this is not the worst idea in the world. LEGO is trying to expand their reach to different categories of fandom, and not every BTS fan is already a fan of LEGO, so you are bringing in a new audience here. I remember plenty of people were upset with the LEGO Office set when it was announced, but also I know a lot of Office fans that was their first LEGO set, so I understand why they decided to make this set. But how they made it is pretty dumb if you ask me. This is such a pared down beginner version of a LEGO set. None of the build techniques are all that special. The build itself is rather minimalist. It feels like the set itself was an afterthought to the idea of having BTS minifigures. If LEGO was going to make a BTS set, why did they make it such a bad set to begin with? If they knew it was going to be controversial of a topic, why'd they put so minimal effort into making a good set? And for the price point of $100, that's just dumb pricing. There's a reason this set is on clearance at nearly every Target I go to, because not many people want it. Which makes me wonder, was it a dumb idea to begin with? So maybe the concept was dumb, and I imagine the build itself, the building process, was pretty minimal because there's not much to build. You're mostly building figures and a couple of small kind of quarter buildings. And that brings us to number 1. The dumbest of the dumb, the dullest of the dull, the dimmest of the dim, the most smooth brain set of them all. And that is the wooden minifigure. Now, some people might not consider this a LEGO set. They might consider it a LEGO accessory, like a keychain or a backpack. But it comes with bricks, there is building involved in it, and I'm going to count it because I cannot go much longer without pointing out how dumb this wooden minifigure is. It's a pre-built wooden maquette of a minifigure that does nothing but stands there and looks pretty, has only one actual way to hold Lego things, that's on the hands, and even then, what's it gonna hold? You can't paint it, you can't put decals on it, you can't do anything with it. As for the execution, while the woodwork does look nice, it's just a dumb idea to put so much time and effort into a wooden figure that will do nothing for nobody. And how about the price point? They were selling this figure for over $120. That feels so nonsensical to me. You could buy legitimately good sets for $50 or less. You can buy amazing sets for $100. Why spend $120 on a wooden figure that, again, will do nothing for you and will only serve as to stand in your collection, just looking pretty, I guess? And for the build process, well, that's also dumb too, because what are you gonna build? The small bag of pieces it comes with are just random grab bags. You can build maybe a sphere that your figure can hold, but then that's it. There's nothing else to this set. It's one of the most nonsensical things I've ever seen Lego sell, because it's not like they're trying something brand new like Znap or a new type of figure. It's not like Jack Stone where it's a very specific demographic they're appealing to. It's not like Lego Mario where a lot of people wanted minifigures, but they wanted to try something different, make it a game. This appeals to just like artists, I guess, and even then, how many artists are hand-drawing minifigures where they need to have a maquette to pose so they can accurately draw the figure? This really only appeals to Lego collectors, or let me rephrase that. This appeals to people that collect Lego merchandise. And that to me scrapes the bottom of the barrel of stupidity, because you're limiting yourself, even more so than BTS, to such a select group of people that would happily spend over $100 on a wooden minifigure. I'm so glad that Lego, I think, learned from their lesson and made a $50 Lego upscaled figure set, because that to me is the best version of this idea. If you want to make a giant minifigure, great. Make it brick built and make it posable and fun and customizable. That's how you do it. Don't make it wood where nobody can use it for Lego purposes. You can't even add pieces to it because it's wood. So with a dumb concept, dumb execution, dumb price point, and dumb build experience, the wooden minifigure in my mind is the #1 dumbest Lego set of all time. And with the drool wiped off our cheek after looking at 10 incredibly dumb Lego sets, I just want to add, I'm not making this list to pick on designers or the artists that spent hours to make these sets. I'm making this video in that if we don't call out Lego for their dumb decisions, then as a brand and as a company, they'll never be able to progress. It'll always come down to Lego fans like you and me voting with our wallets, making our voices heard in a civil manner to make sure that Lego as a brand continues to evolve in the positive direction and not backtracking with inflation or poor build design or just dumb concepts to begin with. But those are my thoughts for the top 10 dumbest Lego sets. I love knowing what you guys think in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, hit that notification button because I have some really big videos coming up. There are going to be some massive changes to my Lego room that I don't want you to miss, so be sure to hit that bell icon. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.